So we are in the 2022 brand new Subaru BRZ, really hyper-focused sports car that Subaru and Toyota have been making for a while now, since I think 2013. It's the all-new updated version. A lot going on here, and I know you being a Subaru owner and a fan, I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Maybe restart the two dudes in a car. I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But basically,
we're going to do better than two dudes.
Yeah,
2 dudes, 2 years later.
So let me give you a couple quick things on this car. So the brand new updated engine here, right? It's still the Boxer 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, but now it's up to 228 horsepower.
What did it used to be?
Around 180-ish, I believe.
Oh, that's a meaningful boost.
Sorry, like around 200.
In this car?
Yeah.
The old version?
Yeah, about around 200, I believe.
Okay, that's a meaningful boost.
And more torque. It actually corrected a torque dip the car used to have, which people didn't like. So it's better overall engine, revs to 7,000 RPM. Among other things, stiffer chassis, upgrading suspension, all those types of things. So a lot going on here, and I'm going to get your thoughts on the car when you hop in. But from my point of view,
can you imagine if this is always the game when they update an existing model, right?
Yeah.
It has to be not just incrementally better in all these categories. It has to be more, like just a little bit more than incrementally better. I mean, it's very hard to squeeze any more performance out of what now we call them ICE vehicles, right?
Right.
Internal combustion engine, ICE. It's just really hard to squeeze more out, and of course, nobody really wants to invest in it anymore. Imagine if they came out with the new model and they're like, "Nah, nothing's really new. It just looks different."
Yeah, they couldn't do that, right? And you're right about the fact that this is still an ICE car, and this is probably going to be the last, hurrah for this car. And I think Toyota and Subaru wanted to actually do good by the owners and fans of this. There's a lot of fans of this car too, right?
Yeah. So
it's cheap and it's hyper focused and it's performance, and so they had to actually kind of, and I think the head of Toyota is a big fan of this car.
Toyota.
Yeah.
Mr. Toyota.
Yeah. So they, championing this car, and this is the last ICE iteration, right? We can't see this car continuing as a gas-powered car in the future.
Well, in fact,
if it continues,
assuming we're back on the track and we're going to be doing some more car reviews, we're now entering the final lap for every model of gasoline-powered car. So every type of gas-powered car that's coming out now is probably the last gas-powered car they're going to make. Now they're going to take the same model and turn it into an electric, but we're going to see a declining pace of new ICE models, and this is going to be a collector's item in 20 years.
All right, Rick. So this is an old school car. It's everything's bolted on. It's still basically a steel chassis, right? And we have this naturally aspirated, not turbocharged engine that is, it's still kind of odd they want to do that, but fine, okay. But and it has 220 horsepower and all sorts of stuff. It still gets 30 miles per gallon. It's still that magical figure. So, and it feels great. It's got that, we say it's cliche, very go-karty, but that's sort of how it feels to me. I feel.
But go-karty is good.
It's good. It's great.
I mean, you never get tired of go-karts.
You never do. And Rick, this go-kart actually has 2 small seats in the back for your gear and maybe a small child.
You sit back there.
Maybe a small child. So, this car is a lot going.
So it's a family. You're saying it's a nice family car.
I'll say this: it's a good daily driver, Rick.
Yeah. But your daily driver's supposed to be electric. There's more than one kind of fun you can have in a car, and we've talked a lot about tight curve coming up. Okay. I mean, if you just want to blast through it, go for it. But
we got a Mazda in front of us here, so I got to be careful.
When we've driven some electrics, we've talked about how fun they are and how quick they move off the line. But there's more than what. Here's the curve. I don't want you to kill me on.
Yeah. You're a young man, Rick. We got a lot of years ahead of you, so let's be careful up here. We're gonna do a little switcheroo out here.
I think so. Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah. I endorse a car that you can ring out and not break the speed limit.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like these cars are so much overkill now, and you can easily go 0 to 60 in like less than 4 seconds, and it's like, what are we doing here on the public roads with that, right? So my point of view, I'm a big fan of this car, Rick. I know we just drove it briefly here, and you're gonna hop in, but I love the package, and for $31,000, I think you can't go wrong. Well, let's get your take on it too.
Yeah, we need more cheap, fun cars.
Yep.
31 is not that cheap, by the way, but for a new car, that's below the average these days.
Yeah. So Rick, you're in the seat now, and I want to mention this because I think this is what we're talking about here with this car.
This is the way it ought to be, Pras. Me at the wheel, you over there.
Fine. But you brought up that rear view camera, and this is where this car is cutting corners. How do you get to $31,000 for this car in this day and age? The average car costs $46,000, right?
Yep.
So how do you get to 31? You have a low-res, crappy rear view camera, and do you need a better one? It'd be nice, but you don't have to have one.
This is meh.
I know. I gotta say,
so
infotainment.
we're pointing to the touch screen here.
Yeah.
It is a touch screen.
Yep.
But before we got in this car, we sat in my 2018 Subaru Impreza, which has a better interface than this.
We thought it had not only a better interface, a bit more updated, but it seemed to have high resolution.
And that was from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Same parts bin.
But here's the thing.
This is cheap. This is cheap looking.
And there's a reason why. You paying for it to be cheap because you want this car's for about driving and being focused driving, right? Like you don't want the super high res screen, and I mean you do, but you don't need it, right? I mean this is the corners we're talking about that have been cut.
Who cares?
Yes, exactly.
Who cares?
What do you think? It's nice, right? I mean, yeah.
It's not bottomless power. But you got to work it. That's what the stick shift is for.
Yes, close ratio.
Stick shift actually gives you it gives you more power in your own mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that these days the electronic transmissions are technically faster, but you get to control it.
Your brain is the transmission,
Yeah.
and you get to keep it in gear longer, and you get more power. Because this car, Rick, it revs high, and you actually get power higher up the band. So you want to go high. You want to rev it up high. That's what the power is, and that's what makes it fun and sporty.
Yeah. Test it.
There you go.
Nice sound.
Yeah.
Did they build that sound, or is that an artificial sound?
Yeah, they're piping it in. This is a complaint people have, is they're piping in the sound. You might be able to,
So we don't know what it really sounds like?
No. I think, you can probably code that out with some, plugging in the ODD thing, and you can probably take it out. But so that's a little knock on the car, but I think they want to give it a bit more of a sporty kind of feel, but I don't like the piping in nonsense.
Well, there would be a sound. I mean, it's not going to be. There is a sound of revving. Yeah. They're just amplifying it. I guess.
Yeah, they're giving you more thrills for that $31,000, Rick. So what do you think?
I mean, you know what? I like the fact that there's really not that much to talk about here. There's not much gizmology. It's just a great driver. It's got now. What do you call the smaller steering wheel that gives you a little more tactile feedback?
I love this wheel because it's thinner and it's smaller diameter, and it's also got a quicker steering ratio. So it's really down. I like it.
What do you call it?
Like a thinner diameter steering wheel. Like it's like a thin rimmed wheel.
Okay.
I hate when it's so thick race car, like you're like driving like a ship or something. I like this thing where it's nice tactile, and you can really kind of yank the car by the scruff of its neck, Rick.
I love that. That's a great analogy.
It's not
yank the car by the scruff of its neck. Really?
But I like what you said, Rick. What do you say here, right? Because the car is so dialed in. Great seats, right? I love the seats in this car.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they're just good sport seats.
Nice pedal box, metal pedals there.
Yep. Now we do have to tell people that this is bumpy.
Yes.
As any low sporty car is and should be. It's not bumptious.
I mean, we're on a really rough road here, and it's not that bad.
You're gonna feel the road, but that's the point. That's just it's not for old people.
I think Subaru and Toyota did a good job here with the dialing in of the suspension. Sporty feel, but we're in near New York City, and the roads are horrible.
They are horrible.
And
we're coming out of winter.
my back hasn't been destroyed yet.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the good seats come in.
So, you know, Rick, I want to just say a couple things about this car. We talked about some performance things. For $31,000, you're getting a limited slip differential too. You're getting an aluminum hood. They picked and chose.
Those are performance, so they emphasize performance over niceties.
Where they could. You still got a lot of hard plastic in here that's not great. But
what are we sitting on? Leather? Leatherette? Fake leather?
It's like a type of almost like a fake Alcantara suede.
Is this real suede or
No,
is this
it's like this. I think it is like an Alcantara. It's an artificial suede, right?
What is Alcantara?
It's an artificial race material type suede that kind of like keeps you glued to the seat, you know?
Okay.
So they put a little bit up here too.
So you don't fall off. Although look at how flimsy this is.
So they put money where they really wanted to kind of give you that sportiness, and I like the digital dash. That's all new for this model. It's very simple.
Yeah, it is.
Some have noted it's the same schematic of the Boxer engine, right? Where it's a cylinder sort of going like that.
Now that's not explosive, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And again, you get to control it. Don't wimp out and buy the automatic transmission.
Yeah. So there is a 6-speed automatic transmission that don't get it. Paddle shifters. It's fine, but this is way more fun.
Paddle shifters.
Not even close. If you got the automatic, it'd be horrible. I don't know.
Are these real? Is this real stitching?
So Rick, I'm going to tell you right now. So this brake thing is leather.
Wow.
But this is vinyl in the shifter. Leather brake, and it says.
How do you explain that?
Hey, you got to cut.
Why not just do vinyl everywhere? I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're in a limited trim, Rick. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Limited leather. We're in the limited leather trim.
So Rick, it does say that the steering wheel is leather wrapped, red stitching. A couple of things here and there. Aluminum pedal covers, aluminum hood, front fenders, and roof.
Which is for weight, and we should point out that keeps the weight down, which improves performance.
Yeah, and it's exactly, and the weight we're talking about is 2,800 pounds.
Gee, that's light.
Yeah,
this is a featherweight.
We're talking about Miata style weight here, with a coupe, and I think that's the secret sauce, right? Right? It's the low weight, high revving engine. This engine revs higher than the last one, and I think it's snappier. So Rick, you're a fan, right?
Sure. I'm a fan of anything that's quick, fun, and affordable.
I think that's it.
And legal. I
think that's right. Quick, fun, and affordable. Right now, you can still get that with the BRZ. Thank you guys for watching. Next time, whatever that car will be, Rick, it'll be some sort of space-aged hydrogen-powered rocket. Who knows? We'll see.
Stay tuned.